When it comes to self-improvement, especially for guys, there's always something to improve upon, right? There's always a new skill to learn. There's always a next rung of success to achieve, another, another amount of money to make. There's always something more, right? We can always be improving ourselves. We can always be getting better. And that's awesome because that's kind of cool. It means that the game of life never ends, right? We can keep going, keep getting a little bit better all the time. Fantastic. But I think it's also important to know at least when enough is enough, or when it's time to pivot and start focusing on other things and maybe come back to this other thing later. Because one, if you're trying to do everything all at once, you're not going to improve in any one particular thing very quickly. While at the same time, if you only hyper focus on one thing and never deviate from that, then you are going to have a bunch of deficiencies in the rest of your life and a lot of other things unrealized. Now, people who are champions, like champions that are the best of the best in the world at one thing, like basketball or some kind of sport, or at making money or musician or whatever, yeah, they're pretty much hyper focused on this thing and they're just always at it. Sure. But when it comes to the average guy, when it comes to the average guy wanting to improve himself, we're basically going to be needing multiple skills. We're going to have to wear multiple hats, especially if you're a business owner or somebody like that. At least initially, at the very beginning, while your business is ramping up and becoming successful, you're going to have to be a jack of all trades, master of none. But the rest of that phrase goes, jack of all trades, master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. Because you can have one thing mastered, one thing dialed, one focus, but if you're not good at anything else, the rest of your life crumbles, right? Because it's like, again, like dating, for example. Maybe you're a real debonair, good-looking guy, and you're able to talk to girls, and you're really good at that one thing. But you're broke. You are constantly having problems with holding down a job. You don't have healthcare or something, and just the rest of your life is complete shit. Yeah, you're fucking girls, but you can't really hold on to them for very long because they're like, oh wow, this guy's a fucking loser. You're unhappy, you're unsatisfied, because ultimately having a bunch of sex really isn't that satisfying long term. Your life is incomplete. You got really good at this one thing, but your life is incomplete. There's more to life, right? And making money is the same thing. You could be really good at making money, but that's all you know how to do. You don't know how to have relationships. It's incomplete. So what I'm saying is that learn to say, once I reach this goal for this particular facet of my life, I'm ready to transition and start putting some of that energy into something else. And it really will help you have a more rounded life, to where, first of all, again, it's not going to drive you crazy because you're trying to do balancing like 20 different things at once, trying to be good at all of them and like trying to improve in all of them. But for two, you learn to be satisfied. You learn to be content with some success in one thing. And it's like, okay, I've gotten this is a perfect example, my body, right? Like, I look pretty decent, right? Like I could improve. I could get way bigger, right? Like I want to even out my lats and all of that stuff. But overall, I'm satisfied with my body enough. Could it be bigger? Could it be better? Could I be more ripped? Sure. But it's pretty fucking decent, especially compared to the average guy. So it's not my focus anymore. I just maintain it. 3 hours at the gym, max, just doing some real basic movements, and that's it. I'm not going 4 or 5 days a week like sometimes I would when I first started. I'm not super obsessed about doing like isolation, like super duper isolating every single part like I was at the beginning. It's okay. I've built the body. Now I can just maintain what I have and move on. What I have is satisfactory, right? I've gotten compliments from women. I get compliments from guys. I like the way I look. It's good now. I don't need to keep going. And at least for now, I'll come back to it later. Maybe later I do like, I just want the biggest fucking forearms on the planet, or I just want my shoulders to be like Derek from More Plates, More Dates or whatever, and I want to get like just jacked. Then yeah, but later, because now I have other things to focus on. I've got relationships to focus on, or YouTube to focus on. I want to learn a language. I want to do this and that. There's other things. So if you learn to balance, if you learn to refocus, okay, this is good enough. I don't have to continually obsess about this thing. I can take a break. I can come back to this later. I've figured this out. I can maintain this. Take a break, move on, and start growing in something else. And then you can come back to this later and grow this, and you can grow different things at different times. There's a season in your life. I like what Alex Hormozy talks about a lot, is that there's seasons in your life. That sometimes there's a season to grind on your business, then there's a time to work on your relationships, then there's a time to explore the world and travel or whatever. Enjoy those seasons, make them useful, give them your all, but just don't stay stuck, hyper-focused on one thing. Unless your goal is world domination in that thing, then yeah, you probably are going to have to do that. But if you just want to continually have a balanced life, don't stay stuck. It's okay. Know when enough is enough. Move on to something else.